So I made a video, I think yesterday. It was horrible. I just woke up, didn't want to turn on the lights in my room. You know, one of those kind of lazy, just talking, hear my voice, but then my finger was covering the phone, so the audio. Anyways, the point of the video actually could have been made very concise. The internet has become the mainstream space, right? Like, there was a point in time, mainstream was TV, radio, you know what I mean? And then you would go spend your time on the internet for fun little side things, side quests, side missions. And we were young nerds. Everybody on the internet were basically nerds. It was mostly guys too. Yeah, there were girl nerds too. But that's why the culture of the internet is essentially as disgusting as it is. Something we need to realize. The internet is not better than real life. It's not better than the mediums created through nature that we interact with all the time. So a photo in hand, a painting, drawing, a picture, you know, that you use chalk or whatever, charcoal or whatever. What's the other things people use? Wax crayons and pencil crayons, whatever. Those types of experiences for the mind is deeper than drawing on a tablet or drawing on a device or drawing in the cloud through VR set. As much as folks are going to think that's going to be the next wave. It's fun, it's novel, but eventually you'll realize the tactile function of moving in real life, there's nothing better than it. But for some reason, we finessed you guys. You know, our generation and generation, maybe half generation before me, so guys like maybe even 3, maybe up to 5 years older than me, we adopted this internet thing as young kids. Social media as young kids, as young people, as young college students, all the way to young elementary students. It was our generation embracing this thing. And we didn't know that it was realistically just a platform for the military to communicate and to send packages information. We didn't know that, right? If we understood that, it wouldn't have been cool. But what was cool was, oh, we're going to play games with each other and connect on the web. But come on, all the games we were playing in person was always better. For instance, even playing Xbox over the internet, I don't even think that was plausible yet, but let's say it was. It was not as dope as setting up with all your friends, different Xboxes in the same house, and creating a local area network. See, probably you've never done that because we nerded out way faster than that progression of technology. But that was actually the next progression for video games. The next progression for video games was house parties, where this room had a Xbox or a PlayStation, that room had a PlayStation, that room had a PlayStation, and every room had the 4 controllers with 4 players, and we're all connected in a local area network where we can have our own death matches and stuff like that within the same house. Now, what does that do? It creates this kind of demi world where, yes, we're online, like we're all in this, our own cockpits connected to a singular match virally or through data, right? Through wires. But when we're done, we go downstairs and we laugh it up and say, yo, you see when I killed you, bro? Yeah, you see when I killed you? Yo. And we're eating chips and there's still that in-person vibe. And out of all the different, I'm not really that much of a gamer, but of all the different times I've ever gamed with my friends, gamed online, gamed whatever, that is singly still the most memorable event. And any of my friends who were there with me, they probably will say the same thing, that is probably the best gaming event they've been to, unless they're an actual professional gamer and they go to an actual professional gaming convention or gaming tournament where everybody is set up there too in a similar fashion. Like you're all still playing online or on some local area network, but you're in rows of chairs and the teams are grouped together and stuff like that. It creates that kind of vibe. That was basically what we were doing as kids. But it obviously took a bit of nerding out. I didn't even know how to set up a local area network at that time. All that to say, because I'm stretching out this video, but the last one was 20 minutes. So as long as I maybe end in the next few minutes, we're good. All that to say, the internet making us think we were stepping it up by being able to connect with random Jimmy in like China and random Paul in Australia was cool conceptually, but practically it was very trash. Right? The games would always drop. You're always having lag issues, latency issues, all kinds of issues because you're trying to host a server between players all around the world. And the technology just wasn't there. But we pretended like it was great. And eventually the technology caught up. By the time the technology catches up, though, that's not the novel idea of even why we're online. Just the idea of sharing amongst different individuals around the world and culturally. No. By that time, it's about this whole next way of being on the internet. And to be honest, the number one content you find on the internet is porn. Is much less the dark internet, much less, and all these things were essentially the original facets. These were essentially the original facets of what folks was doing as pastimes on the internet. In these forums, people were sharing photos. You would have to take a whole day just to load up a photo. You'd say like, okay, I want to see this photo, this nude that someone sent me. Download. And the photo is just line by line generating on your computer. You go to school, come back, come back to see the photo later kind of thing. So the technology was trash. It was not better than real life experiences, but we wanted it to be. Like in our brain, we were tired of having to continue to bow down to the old powers. Like for instance, in music, if I wanted to get my music on the radio, to submit it, not even as an MP3 or a WAV file like you guys are used to. No, I had to, for sure, had to be a WAV file. Like I see you guys getting away with MP3s nowadays, and that's fine. But back then, no, 100% had to be a WAV file, okay, and it had to be like burned onto a disc in a specific way, specific format. Same thing if you want your music video to play on Much or any of these type of NTV music channels here in Canada as Much. You would have to have your music video shot at a specific aspect ratio and specific all type of things, and then it had to be recorded or whatever, copied onto a beta tape in a specific format, right? These were called analog, right? So now we're in digital, but all these old formats were analog and they were very tedious in a sense. So folks was like, why go through all of that? Especially a lot of these analog processes weren't even symmetrical to each other. So one radio station would take one type of beta tape, another radio station would take another type, right? So, and if for you to end up submitting your music to different radios, you would have to maybe have different types of tapes. Or if you do send one tape, they would ask maybe, or charge you to convert it to the tape that they need for their player. All kinds of different things that were headaches. So just kind of consolidating everything into this digital platform was like, oh, that's so much better. But in the beginning, it wasn't. And now that the technology has caught up quality-wise, the quantity of what we're trying to do with the internet has lost the plot. It's lost the plot because we're so far away from the analog conversations and the analog experiences and the analog nerding out, and we're all nerding out in digital format. And it's like when you contemplate thoughts about thinking. What do you expect to come from that? You're thinking about a thought. So you had a thought, and then now you're thinking about that thought. What more can you do than to think again about the thought? And then to think again. Action in real life creates real tangible results, feelings. Like you push down on something, you feel the something pushing up on you, right? That interaction gives you feedback so that you can think responsibly. You could respond to the actual environment you're thinking about. So the same thing is like this whole digital world being built now. We already built it, right? It was built off of analog. It's analog contemporaries, but we've lost the plot. Like a lot of the emojis, you see a phone, you don't, obviously phones don't look like that, but that is still clearly what we're calling it, how we're seeing it. That's still like, obviously we have the iPhone emoji. I'm not saying that we're not being exact to what we're trying to do. I'm just saying when you think about the internet's mainstream function at this point in time, it sucks. It sucks. It really does suck. Like things are faster, but we're going faster nowhere. Like we're going rushing nowhere. And it bothers me because all of us early adopters, we was just doing it to dissent against the powers that be. And now we're the powers that be, but we're stuck in the stupid cogs of this new system instead of having a complete mastery of the old system and being able to integrate some of these new pieces of technology into it, which some people are doing. But the majority of the oligarchs on this world are frightened by this whole digital revolution. And all they do is either push back, push back, push back until they eventually cave in, or they push back, push back, push back until they're eventually bought out and cave anyways. Right? Look at Facebook. There was so much pushback against Facebook in the beginning. Oh, you're spying on us. You're doing this. You're doing that. You could be going into people's homes, this, that, the other, right? And now the government is bati and bench with Facebook, stopping misinformation, this, that, and all kinds of stuff that the government is doing with Facebook now that it was before giving all the pushback just a few years ago, before COVID. Isn't that funny, right? So it doesn't really take long for any narrative to switch. And that's what happened. All the dudes online, we were just having fun, being kids, not caring that you guys were nerds and we were jocks. We're all video gaming. We're all online thising. We all looking for data that in. We're all forum sharing this in. We're all jacking off, jerking off of the porn. Like it was a guy's space. Okay, but we made it a mainstream space, and then women come here and they're like, what the heck is this ugly turd of a space? And we've been spending the last like 20 years trying to make it a space for women to actually, bring their kids, bring the family. The internet was never built for that, and it's never a space for that. So then now we see this AI age coming way faster than it technically should if it was really a space for the whole family, right? If this internet space is now a space for the whole family, then this AI shit is way too early. But if this was really the next stage of space for all the nerds, all the boys who wanted to come online and just guy out, then AI is perfect. We're perfect timing. AI is perfectly, it's like right there. And all the ethic wars and the moral things, that's because, internet has become mainstream. But in the old internet, we wouldn't care that we stole all the data. They stole the data, and my music's being stolen. I stole off of your music to steal, and I uploaded, and now my song going viral, but you're downloading and stealing. No, because it was really just a playground for the guys. And it was really about making money. We were making money offline in our real lives. But now the money pissing contest has been brought online, has been digitized, crypto, Bitcoin, and we're seeing the degradation of the male psyche online, when that wasn't really what this space was for. It technically was supposed to be a safe space for the male psyche to come and just be as degenerative as it needs to be, and then go back in the real world and maintain stoicness, maintain frame. But what happens now when the emails I send and the nudes I send and the this I send and the that I send gets conflated with my Instagram account that's also on the internet, gets conflated with my business email, gets conflated with my actual like everything. The government has my files online. My bank has my files online. All the companies that I do business with have their files online. Seems like this video is competing with the last one, but yeah, I'm gonna end it there. Like the point I really want to say is the internet is not really supposed to be this mainstream space. It's still supposed to be a sideline quest, sideshow Bob, and Krusty the Clown is still the main character in real life. Meaning, like, we have to push for our young kids to let go of their phone. Put down the phone. Put down, like, we already tried like a 10, 15 years of the iPad thing. Giving the baby the iPad, giving the kids the iPad. Like, we have to go back because we're also losing. The reason why Kim brain frontal lobe is low, because she always on the phone doom scrolling. We're not writing with pencil. Penmanship increases your frontal lobe activity. We're not writing. There's so many lost arts. I'm not saying that we need our frontal lobe activity to be high. Maybe we don't. Maybe if we're fully telepathic, let's not get into conspiracy. But the whole point is we gotta Sankofa, bring back the old. We gotta go for that tradition. Bring it back from the ancient and bring it to the front like it's new. We gotta figure it out. The iPads all gotta come with the pens now. Like stylus, we gotta get back the stylus, or they gotta make the phone a bit better with my finger so I can feel again. We gotta bring back feeling, because the internet is a desensitization hub. Why can't I say the word desensitization hub? Is a hub for desensitizing our population, our world. And all we keep doing is making more phones so that more people can be online. Digging more. Yeah, I could keep going. I was about to get into the Congo and digging for minerals. But anyways, you already know what it is, guys. AI is not good for the planet either. We can go into that. The internet's already not been good. 5G is not good for our health. Like, how many more? Like, I could just go on forever and ever 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 about it. But just the original point is, we was just the guys coming here chilling out. We still preferred to buy the sports car and to do the things in real life, and right. And now the digital world is just getting its fingers into our life more and more. If I buy a car now, it's digitized, connected to the internet. They can shut me off from home, from whatever they are in their towers, their corporate towers. Press a button. If I don't pay my bill, press a button and just shut off my car. Or if I pay for the extra bonus, press another button, and then now my car has heated seats. I'm not going to get into car complex because that's a whole next thing. Anyways, y'all, think about this. If you have any thoughts, share it, please. Because sometimes I think I'm alone with these thoughts. And these thoughts, they're not that deep. But sometimes if you think you're alone, then you're not sharing them and no one else responding. You're not really talking it out. And folks, some of you guys may have the similar thought. Some of you guys may not have it fleshed out. But, you see someone like myself who speaks on something that you've hinted about, but you never really, respond. I'm a person who speaks in DMs. Maybe not every day, too, folk, but, if you catch me on a good day, we'll have a conversation. If you catch me on a on a real good day, you can have a phone call. Anyways, y'all, peace.